Today we are going to discuss the while loops in our lecture. So let's start the lecture with some preambles. So in one of our previous lectures we had discussed the shortcut assignments which are also known as the compound operators. It actually represents the combination of multiple operators. For example, the multiplication and assignment operator, similarly division and assignment operator, the addition and assignment operator, and subtraction and assignment operator, and the modulus, which is used for the remainder, and assignment operator. So what it does actually is a set of shortcut. C++ has a set of shortcut operators for applying an operation to a variable and then storing the result back into that variable, that same variable. So we can use this compound statement or shortcut assignment for our own purpose, like we want to add or subtract we want to multiply the value of a with b, and the results of these both multiplication should be saved back into the a. So similarly, this operation, this syntax can be applied to any other kind of operation like division, addition, subtraction, and modulus. So alternatively, these are the two methods that can be written and coded in your program. This is a very small example for three of operations. Okay, the first one is for the addition, and we want to add value of I with 4, and that addition, the result should be saved back into the I. So it means that at the end I should be equal to 7. So what we are going to do is I plus equal 4. So 4 will be added into the I. How? You can just see in the comments here that I is initially 3. I is initially 3, and here we have a constant value 4. So 4 plus 3 will be equal to 7. This was initially 3. Okay, so 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. Now the value become this 7 will be assigned to I. Initially I was 3, so now it is equal to 7. Okay, so when you print the value of I in programming, C out I, so you will see 7 on your screen. Similarly for multiplication, you can see the results here in the comments. 6.4, we have multiplied value of A with 2, and the result is saved in the back into the A. So you can see the results 6.4, and similarly the remainder of an integer variable. So this is one of the constructs, the shortcut assignments that can be used in our programming languages. Okay, so comes to the loops. Loops are normally used as the iterative statements or iterative constructs. So the purpose of the loop is to execute the action multiple times, like an iteration statement allows you to specify that a program should repeat an action while some condition remains true. So until a condition is true, the action will be performed. Okay, so this is the simple idea of the loops. So we have three constructs here: while loop, for loop, and do while loop. So in this lecture we are going to learn about the while statement, the while construct. Let's see some example and syntax of the while statement in our next coming slides. So while statement has a syntax defined by the C++ and also defined in any other programming languages where while is being supported by. Okay, so in C++ you have to write while, W-H-I-L-E, which is a reserved keyword. Then you must specify the parentheses, the opening and curly parentheses, and then some action. Here in action you will use the statements, the C++ statements. Okay, while and parentheses. In between these parentheses we must write some condition that may be result into true or false. Okay, the true false concept has already been discussed in our ifs, in the conditional statements like if statements. So this condition also works similarly to the condition which works in the if condition. Okay, and if a condition becomes true, the action performs at once. Okay, this is the concept of the if condition. We have already seen that. And in while, if the condition becomes true, the action will perform and the execution will come back to the condition and will check if the condition again becomes true, the action will perform again, and then a third iteration the execution will come to the condition, and if condition becomes true the action will perform and the execution in fourth iteration will come again and the condition will be checked, unless and until this condition is true, the action will be performed iteratively. But when the condition becomes false, the action will not be performed. Okay, so this is why this is known as iterative construct or iteration statement. You can see here in the flowchart that while has a conditional statement which may result in false or true. So if the condition become true, the action will be performed and the execution will again come on the condition and will be checked. If it is true, the action will perform and the execution will come again to the condition and the condition will become. So this is like a repetitive structure of the program. But whenever the condition become false, so then the execution will directly jump outside of the while loop. Okay, and no action will be performed. Okay, so this is a real life example that if we have umbrella, okay, we keep the umbrella with us and outside of the room or offices. So we will check if it is raining. If it is raining, then keep the umbrella up. Okay, so if it is raining, so it means that whenever this condition becomes true, the umbrella should be up. Okay, and if it is not, so we can just go outside of the loop and umbrella will be down. Okay, so this is the first example in the C++. Now here you can see that we have written all the required statements that are required for any program to be compiled and run without uh, without any bugs. So main function is started with the declaration of a variable uh, which, which has type character type answer. Then we have shown a message. We want to show a message to the user with yes and no, that please enter if you want to continue or if you want to play your game. So that yes and no will be saved in the answer, and this is being performed using CINCN, extraction operator, and answer. Answer is a variable. Okay. So now we check the answer, putting it in the while condition, and check it whether if the value in answer is equal to small y. This is small y. Remember, this is small y. It will never work for the capital Y because we haven't mentioned the capital Y. And if we or you want to also include the capital Y, so then you need to put the OR operator in this condition and introduce another condition as well, where the after equal operator you may, sorry for these lines, where you may introduce the capital Y character. So in that case the answer will be checked with small y, and that answer will also be checked with the capital Y. So either of these two conditions become true, so the block will execute. This block will be executed. So if you don't introduce any block to the while statement, so by default while statement will just consider one statement within its body. Remember, if you do not introduce the body of the while statement, which can be introduced using opening curly braces and closing curly braces, but if you do not introduce this body of the while statement, so while statement by default will consider only single statement within its body. Okay, single line while statement, it will be called single line while statement. However, here we can see that we have introduced the curly braces, which means that we have introduced the body of the while statements, and we have three statements within the body. So if condition becomes true, cout will be executed, this statement, cout this statement will be also executed. Okay, we are again asking the user, and then again we are saving the answer which will be inputted from the user again. Okay, so in the same variable, so it's okay, it's very fine if you use the same variable again for the input of the user. Okay, so let's guys see how this program works in the real environment of the def C++. So here you can see now, okay, this is one of the program that we can execute and compile here. Character answer, this is a variable of type character. This message will be shown as it is on the screen, so there is no semantic of the statement in the program. Rather, it is a statement which will be printed on the screen as it is. Okay, we are going to cn a variable, a character from the user, and then we are checking the answer. If it is equal to small y, so the statement will be executed. If you or user input other than the y means any character but not equal to small y, so this block will never be executed because the condition will becomes false. Okay, and what will happen, this statement will execute. Okay, so this statement execute in either case because this is outside of the block of the while statement, so it has no dependency with the while statement in while group. while body. Okay, so it is outside of the while body. So whether the while statement true or it becomes false, this statement, these two statements will be executed in either case. So let's see an example and show show how it works. So this is the result of the program after compilation and execution. So what happens, this statement is now executing. I'm sorry, this statement now executing. So we are asking the user to input small y or small n. So it doesn't matter if you do not enter n. You can enter any character here for exiting the or for if you do not want to play the game. Okay, first we want to try the small y and let's see what happen. Play game. It means that the body of the while statement is executing now, and cn now is waiting for the reply of the input of the user. So let's see again small y. Again the while loop is executing. I'm entering again the small y. You can see here. Okay, so enter to save it in the answer. Okay, again, and this process repeatedly will be executed until you give the small y. Okay, but if you give it capital Y, okay, which is not small, so it will be not executed. The while statement will not be executed. The body of the while statement, because the condition will becomes false, and the execution will comes to the line 17, and the div C++ you can see here line 17, and this statement has game exit. So you can see here game exit. Now the program is being exit. Let's see again. I want to play a game for the first time and I do not want to play the game for the second time, so I give it small n. Okay, fine, but I want to include the capital Y as well. Here answer is equal to capital Y. Okay, now we can see that our program will work with both the small y and capital Y. This is capital Y, yes, it's working. Yahoo! And this is small y, yes, it is working. But now if you give n or capital N or any other character except the capital and small y, it will be exited. Okay, you can see here the game is being exited. So this was an example of how while statement is working repetitively or iteratively. So let's back to the presentation. See another example. This is a kind of example where we are asking, please enter a number between 1 and 4. We are asking the user to input a number 1 and 4. So if he enters a number between 1 and 4, we counter that number. We counted that number? No, we do not count that number. We directly come to the thank you for your splendid choice. What it means that we have integer answer and integer counter. So we will count that for how many time a user give the incorrect choice. Means that for how many times user give input other than the values which is less than 1 and greater than 4. So we will count all those values, and these will be the we will consider these try. first try, second try, third try, and this is a count of counter. We will count these try one by one, and we'll see in how many count our user will give a correct input to the our program. So answer is a variable which will be input from the user. So we are asking the user, please enter a number between 1 and 4. Between 1 and 4 means that we do not want even 1 and even 4. So the number which is equal to 2 or equal to 3 will be considered in our program. So let's see, while answer is less than 1, okay, and our answer is greater than 4. So we will execute the block here. This one is the block, the while block. Please enter a number again. If he mistakenly gave wrong input, we will ask again the user to please enter a number between 1 and 4, and that will be saving the answer, and we will count this try as counter plus equal to 1 because this will be the second try, so the counter will be set to the 2, and execution will become again to the conditional statement in the while loop. Okay, so all wrong tries will be counted in the while loop, remember. And if a user give a correct answer which is 2 or 3, even 1 and 4 as well, because this is not equal to, there is no equal sign here, there is no equal sign, yes. Okay, so if it gives the correct answer, so the block will not be executed because our logic is defined as per our demand or desires. So what happened, the correct answer will give us that thank you for your splendid choice after these counter try. Counter is a variable which will output the value, and try is the try that we will see the attempts in which we have given the correct answer. So let's see and check the same code is here, and you can see here in the dev C++. Okay, so if you give a wrong answer, for example 6, so please enter a number. Here the program is asking again to please enter a number between 1 and 4, but I'm not giving it a correct, so in this will be our third try, 1 2 3, and this is the fourth try, and the fourth one I want to give a correct one. So now you can see thank you for your splendid choice after 4 try. You can see here 4 try. So we have counted actually the attempts that we have made, and that count the attempts can be seen on the screen is the value of counter in our program. Okay, so guys, let's see for 1 and 4 as well. This is the wrong choice and 1. Yes, it works for 1 and 4 because there is no equal sign here, less than or equal or greater than or equal. So if we give less than or equal or greater than or equal, so then the 1 and 4 will not be included in the correct answer, but now the case is different. So coming back to the presentation, this is the another example which we will solve through the while loop. So in factorial, every one of you is know the n factorial in mathematics, that how can we calculate n factorial. So the formula for n factorial is if there is n a number, so all the number less than the n will be multiplied including that number, and the result which can be considered as x, or you can consider as t. So that will be a result of the n factorial and can be shown on the screen. Okay, the simplified version is this one, which can be used in mathematics, but anyhow we will need this expanded version of the n factorial in our programming, because this is very easy to understand and to implement. For example, we need to find out the factorial of 5. So what we are going to do is we will multiply all number including 5, all number less than 5 and including 5, and multiply with each other like in ascending order, like this one. We multiply 1 with 2, the result is 2. Multiply the result of 1 multiplied by 2 and 3, and the result is 6. Now multiply 6 with 4, and the result is 24. And now multiply 24 with 5, you will see the result is 120. You can see below as well. So this is 120 and this is the 50. So what we are going to do is we are multiplying the two variables, the two constant, the two digits, and get the result 2, and that result is multiplied with another constant and we get the result again, and that result is again multiplied with another constant and we get another new result, and that new result is multiplied with 5, and ultimately we get the result which is required, 120. So basically what we do is, we try to obtain the result of the subset in the problem, and then we multiply that result of subset with another constant, and we achieve in another subset the result of subset. So this is the illustration how to compute 5 factorial. 1 factorial will be always equal to 1. So in multiplication, remember that any variable equal to 0 will become 0. So 1 factorial will always be equal to 1, 2 factorial will always be equal to 2, while 3 factorial will always be equal to 6 in similarly format. So how it was, for 3 factorial we need to multiply the result of 2 multiplied by 1, which is 2, and then that result can be multiplied with 3. So 3 multiplied by 2 is equal to 6. Now 6 is the result of 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. 1 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3, which can also be represented as 3 factorial. So when you multiply the result of 3 factorial with 4, just like this one, you can represent it as a t, the result of 3 factorial, and multiply with 4, so you will get the result of 4 factorial. Now this 24 is the result of 4 factorial. And when we multiply the result of 4 factorial with 5, so we get the result of 5 factorial. So it's a kind of a problem with iterative nature. So let's see how can we solve it with the help of while statement. So this is the program in the slide. So you can see the number which will be input from the user. The factorial is the result of each multiplication, and the counter we will need it to control the loop. So we are asking the user to input a positive integer which will be saved in the number. So factorial initially will be equal to 1. This is obvious. And then counter initially will be equal to 1. So if we want to find out the factorial of 1, so the counter will be always equal to 1, and we do not need to update the counter to 2. So while loop shall be exited at the counter is equal to 1. Okay, so initially counter should be also equal to 1 and factorial should be equal to factorial should also be equal to 1. While counter, which is in this case 1, is less than or equal to number. So if you give answer 5, the input 5 from the user, so the counter which is equal to 1 will always be equal to 5, so condition will become true. Okay, and that counter which is equal to 1, we are updating that in the body of the while statement. Here you can see. So in the first iteration the counter will be updated to 2, so 2 will be equal to less than or equal to 5. Yes, in the second iteration 2 will become 3. The counter will again checked against the number, so 3 is less than 5. Yes, then the counter will be updated to 4. 4 is less than 5. Yes, and then it will be updated again to 5. So 5 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, and then again counter will be updated to 6. So 6 is less than or equal to 5. No. So when the condition become false, what will happen? The execution will jump out of the while block and these statements will be executed. Okay, so sorry, don't need all these words. Okay, so now you see this statement factorial multiply by equal to counter. So it means that factorial is equal to factorial multiply by counter. See, so the counter is updating in each iteration. Counter is updating from 1 to 2, from 2 to 3, from 3 to 4, and then 5. And in each iteration the result is saved back into the factorial. Okay, so this is very similar to the concept that we have seen here in this one. This is the first iteration, the second iteration, the third, the fourth iteration, and the fifth iteration. This has been represented here with this while statement. So let's see this how it was in the div C++. This is the program for the n factorial, and check it whether it works. So we want to find out the factorial of 5. Now you can see the factorial of 5 is 120. Again I want to check it for the factorial of 8. So the factorial of 8 is this value 40320. So now you have seen how this while statement is working for the finding the factorial of any number. Let's see another example, the 2 power n. So it means that we need to have a loop statement for n, and 2 is constant, so we need to multiply 2 n times. So 2 n times. Here in example you can see 2 0 time mean 1 answer, and 2 time means that multiply 2 times it will result in 4. 2 4 times mean 2 to power 4 means multiply 2 4 times to result into 16. So you can see here, if you want to find out the 2 power 4, 4 is a variable while 2 is constant. So what we need, the first iteration, the second, the third, the fourth, and in the fifth iteration we will get the answer 16, which will be the final result. This is the program. Number input from the user, the result we will save it in each iteration, and the counter which will be used to control the while loop. So here you can see count, enter a positive integer. Okay, result is equal to 1 because multiplication is involved, so the result must be equal to 1. Counter is equal to 1, and while counter variable is less than or equal to number, so number represents actually the power, okay, number represents the power, the n. So for how many times we should multiply 2? Okay, so 2 multiplied by 1, 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, yes, 2 multiplied by 2, 2 multiplied by, and that the result will be multiplied each time that result we multiply with 2, and we will update the counter so that we may control our loop as per the requirement, which is the power. So let's see how it was if C++. Here you can see we have declared integer power, result, and counter. So power is actually 2 power, and we know 2 is the constant value that we required. So enter a positive integer or power, for example 2 power n. We are asking this from the user, and the user will input a value, power, that he or she want to find out the answer for the 2 power. Now the result is equal to 1 and counter is equal to 1. So while loop will execute whether the counter is less than or equal to power. So if somebody want to calculate 2 power 2, so here counter is equal to 1 and power is equal to 2. So we want to multiply 2 times, so the result should be equal to 4. So the condition will become true and result steric. This is the compound statement, okay, assignment statement. Result in will be equal to result into 2. So result is 1 multiplied by 2, yes, and it will come back as per the counter statement will be executed, and then execution will come to the condition. So counter has been updated to 2, and 2 is less than or equal to power. Yes, power is already 2 and this is now 2, so this will again execute. Its result previously has been updated from 1 to 2, so 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4, and counter will be updated to 3. So now condition will be checked, 3 is less than or equal to 2, no, condition will become false and this statement will execute. Okay, so let's see. We want to find out 2 square, so 2 is already given, so square is this one. If we want to find out 2 power 6, okay, so 2 power 6 means that 64. 2 multiplied by 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 2 is equal to 64. If you want to reduce it, 2 power 5, so it means that multiply 2 5 times, you will get 32. So this is a very simple calculator for 2 power n formula. Let's come back to the presentation and see another example. Here we want to find out the maximum value out of many values. So initially value is equal to 0, maximum value is 0 because there is no maximum value, so initially 0 is maximum value. So the program will terminate by inputting the -1 value. If the user give -1, so condition will become false and the statement outside of the while statement will be executed. Okay, so if the condition is true, which will be true in case of 0 even -2, +2, +3, 4, -5, -6, -7, +7. So the condition will always become true. Okay, and however, we are asking the user to give a positive integer, so we want to play around logic to keep our logic clear and simple. So we will ask the user to input the value. If the value is greater than maximum, so in this scenario, in first iteration, maximum is equal to 0. Here you can see value is also 0, but before going to operate these two values, we are asking the user to input into the value. So the user, for example, gives 2. So 2 is greater than 0? Yes. So replace the value of maximum. Okay. So now maximum will be equal to 2 and the value is also 2. So 2, now the condition, the processing will come, the execution will come to the condition where value is a 2, so 2 is not equal to -1, yes, so condition becomes true, and this body will again execute. The user will be asked again to enter the value into the value variable. So this time, for example, if someone give -1, sorry, -7, so value -7 is greater than 2? No. So the maximum will remain same because the condition become false. So the maximum will be remain uh, same with the previous value, which was 2. But the execution will come again to the condition which is now in which where the value is -7. So -7 is not equal to -1. Yes. So condition becomes true and the body will be executed. So let's see how this program actually works in the dev C++. Maximum value. Here you can see the maximum value of integer type and maximum of integer type. So these are the two variables which were declared initialized with value 0. So if value is not equal to -1, so in this case value is 0. So 0 is not equal to -1, it will become true and the body will be executed. Okay. So remember, whenever you input -1, so -1 means that the condition will become false and this statement will be executed. Okay. And it will always print a maximum. So let's see. Okay, there is a small error here, and the error is with the quotes. Now you can see. Okay, so let's see. Come back. Enter a positive integer, -1 to stop. Okay, so C 5 3 7 8 2 1 0 8 9 4 and 18, and let me stop this to see which one is the maximum. Okay, let's give 2 1 5 6 and now stop the loop while inputting the value -1. So now you can see here the maximum value that we input in our stream is, in our all streams, is the 18. So this program actually calculates the maximum value out of the values which input by the users. So this is a smart calculator for finding the maximum value among set of many other values. Okay, this is a program which calculates actually the maximum, not the maximum, but you know the average of all values that user input to the program, the average and sum. So you are kindly requested to code this program in the dev C++ and check it whether it works or not. So this is a kind of assignment for you. Thank you so much, dear students.